This is Pastorpedia. I'm Newt Larson with Jim Brown and Jeff Bogue, and we're delighted to be with you every month. And this time about friends. Friends. Not the program on TV or the reruns, rather, or not, but good friends. Okay, and not even our families. We're all going to say, yeah, our wife's our best friend. Okay, but we're going to talk about in a church, how do you have good friends and why do you need them, and what are some dangers? So let's talk about that. Jeff, can I talk to you first? What do really, really, really good friends, or a few of them, do for you?
I think they give life to you, especially in ministry. I look at some of my dearest friends, and I don't know if I'd have longevity in ministry without them. So some of them are in the church, some of them are out of the church, but a safe place to go vent, a safe place to share what's going on in your life, where you can talk about your marriage or your kids, and it's not disillusioning to that person that somehow you don't have your life together. A place of real honesty. I have some very close friends, and if I lied to them, they would know it by looking at my face, kind of a thing. So those deep relationships. And I know over the years, I've been in ministry coming up on 22 years. The longevity of that ministry is tied in many ways to the depths of those friendships and leaning into them. I have a few friends, and sometimes I think to myself, if I had to start all over again, I started with these guys, I could go back and start with these guys again, and it gives me courage to make a strong decision. It gives me courage to go where I feel like the Lord needs us to go, because I'm confident that these people would be right there with me. So I think it's a huge thing. I think it's hard. I think it invest a lot of time and energy to create a friendship like that. But I know I feed off of those kind of relationships.
That's great. And many pastors, we're talking mostly the pastors, do not have them.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jim, how about you? What does a good friend do for you?
Well, I would just begin and think what it says in Ecclesiastes, 2 are better than 1. And summarizing that, if one falls down, has no one to pick him up, that you pity that person. Friendships bring life to me. In fact, just today, I'll give you for instance, very real. I texted a friend today and just told him these words. Open up here on my phone.
Can I help you with your phone there?
Sure, can. I texted this person. I said, I thank God for you, brother. You are a true friend. His response back was, wow, thanks, I needed that. And I put, I love you, brother. This is one of my dear friends that my family spends time with, that my kids spend time with, that we can get away and do life together. And in this case, the friendship I have there, we don't have to talk about church. We talk about family, marriage, and we have fun together. There's something about being able to bring fun into your life too. And we do a lot of things together. So that person breathes life into me. And I feel like I do that for him too. I also have close friends here on staff. In fact, my staff is my family, my pastoral staff. When I moved from my home to here, we adopted this family. And so the friendships I have with my pastoral staff are priceless. They understand what I'm going through. I understand what they're going through. And only a pastor really understands. Like sometimes I can sit with my elder board, and I love them dearly, and they're passionate God chasers and lovers, but they don't truly understand what a pastor deals with. And so having a friendship with another pastor that understands that you live in a glass house, that this is what your wife is thinking, that you're always thinking about the church, and they understand there's something valuable about looking at a dude and says, yeah, I get it. I understand. I'll pray for you. So friendships breathe life into me. They give me assurance. They also, it allows me on a long-term basis, they trust me and I trust them. I can share my deepest, darkest, or my best and shiniest moment and know that when they leave the room, it stays there. They're after the best interest of me, and hopefully I'm after their best interest.
Yeah. Share one of your darkest secrets just now with friends from all.
Did you get a text from Jim today? I didn't get a text from Jim.
No, I didn't get anything.
Well, it involved Jeff and I together, so we better not share that.
So you both say this, and we would all want this for every pastor thinking and watching. Someone you can relax with totally. Not that we put on a face on Sundays, but you don't you don't say everything to everybody or you'd be quoted to everyone else. Someone who really helps you relax and you know is in it for you as well as for them. We all have people who would love to say, I had dinner with Pastor da-da-da. And that's sometimes frightening and hurts us. I remember a friendship where I came around a corner of the church. This is many, many years ago. And he's quoting somebody of something I said to him when we were at a football game together. And I thought, I'm not going to have a friend in the church. Mm-hmm. But talk about that. Can you have good friends in your church? I know you both do, and you both alluded to that. But there's still a caution sometimes when somebody comes to you. Would you be my friend, Jeff?
Yeah. The answer to that is usually no. Like if somebody came and said, I want to be a friend of the pastor, my red flags usually go
mine
up
too.
Right away, because I just been burned 1,000 times, seems like, by that. When I was younger in ministry, I didn't know. I was like, oh, great, a friend, and I didn't realize what it meant. I do have very, very dear friends in the church, and some of them are people that when we first started out, we were all young together, and we've kind of grown up together. Our kids have grown up together, so there's been a natural bond. And now over time, that friendship has proven itself true. Some of them, however, though, I looked at a group of guys a few years ago, guys that I love and respect and actually really, really enjoyed and was energized to be with. But they're successful, so to say, in their respective fields and busy like I am. And we never had time. There was no way, and our kids didn't naturally intersect, So I finally looked at them and I said, would you guys meet me once a quarter at 8 o'clock at night so we could become friends? I was that intentional about it.
Wow.
And we started doing that. And we'll get together at 8 o'clock at night. We're often together till 2 in the morning. In fact, we've all learned to clear our schedules the next day. And we'll talk and get into each other's lives and brainstorm. They're as passionate about the church as I am, passionate about Christ as I am. So some of those friendships have been very natural. That happens over time. And then some of them I've actually worked at it. And I saw in them also they were longing for a great relationship. And we just had to manufacture it in this phase of our life. We're not in college together, all those kind of things. Right. And all of us would say that meeting takes enormous priority. My dearest friend, Jason, we have a longevity together, but we also, for 20 plus years, have had lunch together every week.
Whoa.
So we really have made the time. Now we miss, of course, here and there, but really have made the time to invest in that relationship. And that's what causes it. Or we run around spreading ourselves thin, So I've worked at it over the years because I value it so highly.
Is there ever a tension about who's to pay for lunch this time? Brother Jeff?
We swap back and forth.
With a friend, you get past formalities, don't you?
Yeah, that's right.
What about, let's switch to deeper, different friendships, discipleship, because a lot of the guys thinking about it have friends and there's not a sense of discipleship, or maybe they're their only. What about, though, we all feel it all the time, the pressure to make disciples and lead the way as pastors. Let's comment on that.
I found that because I want to be able to take my time and use it wisely, I would say. And so I want to have the best or greatest influence with the largest amount of people. So I look for ways where I can be part of something where there's a multiple group of men there instead of having 50 or 60 different times I'm meeting with them. And so we have a discipleship forum here called Fight Club that I lead that has hundreds of men in it. And it could have 10 men in it too, or 5 men in it. And I'm able to guide with them, do the discipleship with them, lead in a servant way, and go in and get my elbows dirty just like they are. I found that doing life with them helps them to know me and for me to know them. And in turn, that kind of discipleship, it allows me on a Sunday morning to look out. I know where the majority of our men are at in their marriages, in their lives. So it flavors over into my preaching and into my leading and discipleship. So, and then they can look at me and say, hey, he's doing it with me. Like, he's at the same place I am, and he's doing it with me. So I look for ways that I can jump into men's lives. There's a larger group of men and do life with them. That works for me.
So you're being candid up front and modeling it. Do they break into small groups then where they can really look at each other?
Yes, those groups are broken down into, they have a leader, a squadron leader. They're in squads, and he leads them. And it also develops leaders below me. So there's 40 or 50 leaders being developed that I'm pouring into, and then they're pouring into 10 or 12 guys in a squad. And so it's just the rippling down of producing disciples. And there's accountability in all those groups, with each man has an accountability partner, and then I have an accountability partner. So it's life on life, going deeper, and then the broad picture, bigger picture, we're all moving forward together. So it's pretty exciting.
Some of our friends watching would probably, I don't mean this mean, but react to the word discipleship because they've seen programs that didn't work. The number 2 question I get coaching churches is, what's the best discipleship program for your church? And I always answer it with a question, who's in your discipleship group? But there's no magic program. What happens in real discipleship? Could either of you comment on that?
I think they have to become more like Jesus. People often ask me, and they'll probably ask Jeff, they've asked you too through the years, and I might even ask you that question too. What's a true disciple look like? Like, how do you know you're producing a disciple? That's our longing. We want to produce a disciple. And I often come back to this. If we want to produce a disciple, he has to or she has to look like Jesus. And so the closer you get to Jesus, I ask myself, what was the mission of Jesus? Why did he come? To seek and save lost people. And so at some point, as this person's growing in their faith, if they're not reproducing or sharing their faith, then they aren't growing either. The closer you get to Jesus, you have to be sharing your faith. So to me, what's a product of someone that's growing in Christ? They're actively sharing their faith, and they're reaching other people too. That's the mission of Jesus Christ. So to me, that's a fully devoted follower.
And the word itself means learner, so you don't have to look for men who are already, the point is you have to look for men who are willing to learn though and grow.
I think discipleship, for me, a big part of discipleship is an invitation, right? So someone invites you to be a part, which is what like Jim would do with Fight Club. I do this with something as old-fashioned as a Tuesday morning Bible study. Yeah. So I have a bunch of men that will meet me on Tuesday morning. It's an invitation. It's a private place. Somebody one time asked if they could tape it and put it on the internet. I said no, because we'll talk more openly in there. I said, so no, you can't do that. But a lot of my discipleship relationships will start there. If you'll get up on Tuesday morning before work and meet me, then I'm more apt to say yes to a cup of coffee, kind of thing. And it kind of starts there. And my little rule with that is I am as open to you as you are moving forward. When you stop moving, I stop making myself available.
Boy, I like that, Jeff.
And a lot of my deep friendships of the church started through that Bible study. Yeah. And I like it's the idea that we journey together. And so friendship and discipleship is, you can't separate the two things. As the disciple matures, the friendship grows deeper. If the disciple is immature or won't mature anymore, right? But some of my friends are 25, but we have a depth of a friendship of an immature disciple and more of a mature one, and then that will deepen over time. And I love that. I love thinking like that. I like working like that. That's how we would work with our staff. We would work in a relational context, and as I'm discipling them, leading them, the more they grow in their knowledge of the Lord, the more they grow in their maturity in ministry, the closer we wind up becoming in the process.
Great. They both really have good thoughts that are in the material you get in the email, and I hope you'll read those. Our daughter came home from a discipleship group once. I happened to be at her house from a great church, but I said, Elise, how did the discipleship group go? And she said, Dad, I don't care how many loaves of bread were left over or how many fish. I want to talk about life and the issues of the scriptures that meet the heart and where you grapple. We hope you have really good friends. We hope this will spur you on to keep going on that path. And I'm Newt Larson about Pastorpedia with Jim Brown and Jeff Bogue, and grateful. Thank you.